Hello everyone, it's Taiba again, and in this tutorial I want to show you the basic difference between a JPEG image and a SVG. So once you open up your Mac, you notice I don't have my grid lines. If you want to add or subtract your grid lines, remember, we'll just go to column A and go to settings, and that is where you can do your grid lines or no grid. For this tutorial, I prefer to do no grid, so I'm going to leave it as that. Okay, so go to column A, select upload, upload image, browse, okay, and I'm going to upload this image, and we're going to clean it up in Design Space. Whenever you have a plain black and white image, simple is the best choice to choose. Then I'm going to select my one here in the top bar, my eraser one. I'm going to select everything I do not want in my design. Okay, this is called negative space. Once I remove all of my negative space, I'm going to select the green button, continue. We're going to use the second option here, and I want to name it Birthday Squad. Okay, and I'm going to save it as a cut image. Save. Select it. Insert image. Okay, so now there are a couple things that I want you to pay attention with to. We actually clean up the image. It's ready to cut. And look over here. With this cut image, we don't have any other parts of it. And you may not understand what I'm saying now, but you are about to see exactly what I'm talking about. So we clean up this image. We cannot change the color of these, the flourishes they call them. We can't change the color of any of the lettering. If we change the color of it, the whole thing will change color like so. Okay, so that is how this works. I'm going to go ahead and delete it because we won't need it again. Now, I actually had some time to actually design some birthday squad designs because I have to design it for a client, and I want to show you guys how I actually edit this design in Cricut Design Space. Okay, so I did two variations. I did a variation that I showed you in the first part, and this is another variation. Okay, I save this birthday squad, go to save. If you're interested in the font, I'm going to show you which one. Okay, now pay attention to column C. You see that the design is broken up into several different parts. This is what an SVG is. An SVG gives you the freedom to change different colors of the different parts of a design. Okay, so I'm going to ungroup it. You're definitely going to be using the ungroup feature here when you're dealing with SVGs. All the ungroup feature does is actually separate the design so that you can actually edit it. Okay, so I include the link in the description box if you would like to get this font. So check that out if you would like it. The next step we're going to do is I want to condense my parts of the SVG. So for example, we're going to be working with this one first. So I'm going to hold down my shift button and click all of the parts in column C. That's the word squad. You see it's highlighted here. And then I'm going to do birthday. Hold down your shift button so that you're able to select all the parts. So I have all of my parts selected. I'm going to go down below in column C to weld. And you see it turned it all into one part. Very similar to the first one that we did in the beginning of the video. Okay, the next thing I do is I actually have this mint in white. You see these two? These are currently grouped together, but all we have to do is select ungroup to make it three different parts. So I have my white, I have my mint, and then I have my black. I'm going to move that to the front. So now I have my three parts. When you have an image like this, there are one or two things that you can do. You can have all three layers. Let's see if I can hide this for a second. I want you guys to focus on this design. Okay, so now that I have this, if you're actually doing this design for a cup, then you will not need to mirror your images. If you're doing it for a shirt, you will lay your HTV shiny side down, dull side up, and you will mirror your images. So here are two ways that you can actually do this. We'll go to make it, and we'll have a total of 3 layers. So the first layer that goes, make sure, very important, I used to always forget this as a newbie. Make sure you mirror each and every mat. Just because you mirror one mat does not mirror all the others, okay? So my mint layer is going to go down first on my shirt. And then my white layer is going to go down second. And then my black layer is going to go on third. And that is what's going to give this the look, the effect. Now, suppose I have a white shirt and I want to save on vinyl. I mean, I do this all the time. So instead of me using white vinyl, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice these two images out, which you can only slice two images at a time. So I select those two images and slice here in the bottom of the C column. I'm going to erase this, erase that. So now you see how it is with the shirt. I'm sorry, with the black writing. And I just insert it like that. And boom, my design went from having 3 layers to only 2 layers. So let's go to make it. So there's my black. Make sure I mirror it if I'm doing it for my shirt. And here is my mint. Make sure I mirror it as well if I'm doing it for my shirt. Isn't that cool? Okay, so this is a unique way to save on your vinyl, or if you would like to layer it with a different color, then you can do it that way. Okay, so now we're going to do the next one. I'm just going to select this all and delete it because we're done with it. Okay, so now we have our pink version. And you actually edit it the same exact way. Make sure you select all. Okay, so if you pay attention in column C, you have all of these different parts. Now, this is where it can get fun and funky. Like the SVG breaks up these parts. Remember when we cleaned it up in Design Space that we could not change the color of these parts, let alone move them or anything. We're able to move these out like so. And you can even ungroup it. If you ungroup it, you can move them out, delete them, whatever the case may be. Or you can go through each one and change the color. That's the awesome thing about SVGs, is that it allows you some versatility. Okay. So now that I have all of these one color, I'm going to leave that as is for now. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my shift button and click all my like parts in column C. I'm going to include the font in this as well and weld them. So now I have all of this as one image, and I changed the colors of these because I want you to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide these for a second. Now with SVGs, like I said, you can change the colors of all of the items. That allows you when you ungroup them and break them apart. So I welded all of this together, so this is my one design. But also keep in mind, when you change the color, then it gives you multiple mats. So if you have scraps that you want to utilize, this will be a great scrap project. You would just have to layer it correctly when it's time to press. And you have to press one of them at a time because they're so small. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to get this, because I just want to show you that you can change the colors. We're going to weld it. And we're going to weld all this together. There we go. Okay, so now I have all of my wording in one part. I have my white shadow in one part. And I have my pink in one part. So when we go to make it, we have 3 different layers. And as with the first example, you can only slice 2 images at a time. So hold down your shift button, select these 2 items and slice. Okay, I'm going to delete that. Delete that. Now my design goes from 3 layers to 2 layers. And this layer right here, let me see if I can hide it. This white layer inside of here, this would be the color of your shirt showing. So that would be the reason why you would actually slice that design. So you see how this is? So that went from being a 3-layer design to a 2-layer design. So you go to make it. Make sure you mirror if you're doing an HTV project. I can't stress it enough. I've messed up so much HTV not remembering. So I have both of my designs 2-layer. And that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope that this tutorial gave you guys some insights. I actually have the link to this font in the description box, as well as if you would like to get these 2 birthday designs, the link to that. And I hope that this tutorial was very helpful and it gave you some insight. What is the difference between cleaning up an image in Design Space versus actually having an SVG of the image? I used Scale 5 to create this design. So if you're interested in Scale 5 as well, I will include that in the description box too. Have a great day.